Well, I'll be. It is a brand new year, guys. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to present something for y'all today. We made an announcement earlier on Instagram, if you guys follow Zillion Instrumentals or Epic Toy Sound, that in 2026, we're going to be working alongside the TPC Toy Pick Community Top 10 weekly toy photographer contest and community gamified system almost in a way. This announcement is just to show people exactly how the process works. And if you want to be involved with it outside of the regular weekly shots, feel free to contact me. And I'll put my, here you go, in a banner. I will. What? This is much easier like this. Maybe not. Okay. So if you want to follow me or DM me at this username, especially if you are wanting to get involved with doing it on a regular basis, because a lot of the creators that we have on board on Epic Toy Sound with this original toy soundtrack function that we are starting to do weekly, they produce, I'm sorry, they create the cover art for all of our releases, because I like to keep things uniform and consistent for the record label. And you know, as we release and bring on new artists and different styles, different genres, that will require different imagery and aesthetics that match that specific genre or that style, and vice versa. Because a lot of times we work backwards. We work, you know, the art itself, the toy photography itself, can be the muse, the inspiration for creating the song. And especially because when we first started doing this, you know, it was super, you know, personal, because we had to get to know each other and we had to form relationships within the community with toy photographers and other people who are creative and active within the community. So we went through about 2 years of a beta type system and business and revenue sharing model, where we build up the catalog and try different things out, different types of releases, different styles, lyrics, no lyrics. So now we're at the point where we want to make it an official thing. Every week, the winner of the TPC Top 10 gets an original toy soundtrack for that scene, kind of to immortalize it. And what I mean by that is that when you create an image, and you'll see this in the video that we made, but when you create an image, it's very easy to get completely bombarded with, you know, within a week, it's under a pile of all other content, some content that just sucks, some that's good, some, you know, and it's not a diss on AI, but at the same time, you know, AI is at a point where the speed is so quickly, you generate so many high quality photos very quickly now that very good art can go unseen. And this kind of makes it so that we remember that it's, you know, community based. We want to work with one another, keep the human element in it. It adds different styles and different perspectives to the final product of the art, or the final project, whatever, you know, it is that we're doing, or whatever concept that we are creating by making a toy photography scene into a soundtrack or cover art. I think it'll be really cool at the end of the year, in 2026. This is the first year that we're gonna be doing this every week for TPC, but I think it'll be cool at the end of the year to see the year's worth of releases and maybe to have a clip, of each song, um, playing with the cover art and showcasing kinda what we did. I think that's gonna be fun to see at the end of the year, but, um, let's see how it goes. Here's the presentation that I made for you guys. I used some of the, toy photography art that is going to be either released soon or has already been released in the past with Epic Toy Sound or any of the toy photographers that we have, in-house, because a lot of the, like I said, a lot of our releases, even when it's not TPC related, all of our releases, I'm sorry, all of our releases are toy photography based with Epic Toy Sound. And if a toy photographer is in-house, meaning that if they're their own artist within Epic Toy Sound, then usually it's all toy photography artwork and cover art. So we plan on basically just creating a ecosystem for all of us to be a part of. The audio is a crucial part to content, and you guys will realize that as you start to make more, as you start to release, your own content. Maybe you start your own podcast, video, whatever might happen. But audio is crucial. It's a crucial component to uh, you know, having original content and having UGC, meaning that if you want to monetize or if you want to turn this into a business, if you want to turn your YouTube channel into the partner program, whatever, you have to have audio that is copyright free or does not cause strikes or claims. I mean, claims are okay. Claims are actually what you want. That means the system is working because when a claim is on your video because of the audio, what that means is that the person who owns the copyright to the audio is allowing other creators to use his audio in their work. So what it does is it reroutes the YouTube content ID, the advertising money. If that channel is associated with another, if the audio that is on the video that you post is associated with a monetized YouTube channel, it reroutes the ad revenue and gives them credit for the audio in your video, and you can still keep the video up and not have it affect. That's actually how it works. That means the system is working. When you see the red in the block or the ban, that's when it's not working. That's when it's saying, okay, we just ran this audio and this video in our database, and we have a match, meaning that it assumes as a bot, it's not a human. This is not a human that checks this stuff, guys. By the way, this is the future of AI. So maybe we learn it quick and learn it, as a unit, and then we work on it. We do the best we can to keep things humanly involved, but at the same time, it's inevitable that they're integrating it into everyday systems, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our DAWs, our digital audio workstations, our platforms that we actually create the basic foundation of our creations, Photoshop, whether it's imagery or sound, both of them have been affected greatly by AI. And I'm not opposed to using tools to enhance or to multiply the work or to um, definitely handle things that are tedious that we wouldn't want to spend an hour doing uh, anymore. At least if we have the option. I'm not saying ignore the things that require your time and energy, but uh, if it's something that can help with the overall workflow of a process or a system, then yeah, I'm definitely open to using AI or collaborating with other AI companies that are doing things that may be able to help the toy community and create more interesting and engaging content. So that being said, it's going to create a catalog, a backlog of audio that we can use throughout the year, royalty free, without having to worry. What I'll do is I'll put all the tracks in a folder, in a downloadable folder, so that we can actually have the Toy Pick community artist almost like a record label within the community with only toy pictures, and then we can have the catalog. As we build the catalog and go on each week, we'll have the new song posted on, maybe a website that we can just have, the free downloads for. Um, like I've always said, music was never meant to be sold, so we just put it out there, and we encourage others to use it because it is royalty free and it directly supports the toy pick community and toy photographers within the community itself of toy photography. So here's the presentation I made. So this cover right here I use this on purpose because this is sent to us by Rockin' Wolf. This is one of the new artists that we're going to be releasing. Kind of a darker, you can get the vibe for sure. And we have different, like I said, the imagery and the aesthetic of the image, especially the ones that win first place on TPC Weekly. That gives us the biggest clue into how we're going to make the sound for it. And I mentioned in this presentation that whoever the winner is, whoever gets nominated, and if they're down to collaborate and work on something like this and turn their scene into cover art for a release that will be worldwide, I would like to get their input as far as what style they like, because I don't want to get in the studio or get with other people, other musicians and producers, and work on something that you don't like. I tend to make things that even I don't like. I do it for the fact that it's more of a universal factor and use case to use the audio as a enhancer versus trying to chase likes, radio play. I don't care about any of that shit. You won't either, trust me, because this is the future is going to be community-based work, community-based creativity and art, and we can keep it in the community and not have to worry about what the record labels or industry heads want to shove down our throats or faces or ears, or we can listen to whatever we want. We can make it however we want, and so I'm open to hearing all different suggestions. If you have a certain style, especially if it's winter, like I said, I'd like to hear the style that you like. If you are an artist, what I'm finding out is that there's a lot of toy photographers who are also musicians, producers, artists, lyrics. A lot of people who kind of gave up on that art or put it on the side or put it on the shelf for now. But I'm realizing that it's reviving a whole nother side to certain individuals that I've gotten the honor to get to know and contact. And yeah, so there's a lot of opportunity to just grow and be really creative and use your imagination in places that was, maybe it was dormant before. So anyway, your art deserves a soundtrack. Obviously, this is a collaboration between Toy Pick Community, Zillion Instrumentals, which is basically like Epic Toy Sound, but Epic Toy Sound was formed later on, and with the toy photographers within the community, some of them, a handful of them. And I'm super grateful to them forever for believing in something that didn't have any type of voice, had no noise at all, had just a guy with a vision. And I'm grateful that we're able to work together, communicate, chat, go back and forth, and create something and find other uses for the stuff that we do and enjoy. This is a culture, and you guys at TPC and the other podcast, the other toy photography podcast and all that stuff, you guys know it's a culture, and that it's super dependent on community. And there is no toy soundtrack without a community. I mean, I could do it for myself, but like I said, there's not fulfillment in just doing things for yourself anymore. So this is what I believe is a universal and a really it's going to change a lot of things, because you're going to be introduced and your art will be showcased to eyes and ears that have never seen even toy photography before in their life. Kind of like how I was when I first saw it. as a music producer coming from the music industry, especially when social media was kind of, it was getting very at its peak where, advertising is getting personalized, all that stuff. And seeing all these action figure photos fly across the feed, and man, I was blown away when I first got introduced to this. So I'm really excited to do this and be a part of this, and go on this collab and adventure with y'all. So yeah, this is by Rock and Wolf, this image of Ultron. Um, Super cool image. Ignore this heading right here. So you obviously don't need to, you don't need to read all these because they're basically to showcase, what we're gonna do. Um, so this is all original cover art that we have out. This is by Roquez, ETS. Sometimes we'll go a step farther with the covers. Most of the scenes don't need anything on them. In fact, um, the only reason why we do sometimes put texts um, and display and cover art and turn it into a full-blown CD and design, graphic design related, is because it gives it a concept and it makes it a thing. It makes it into something that we can remember easily instead of just the image itself. Once you give something a name and kind of relate it to a mood or to a style, then it's easier to remember. So this is a song that's already released underneath Roquez, called Stasis Protocol. It's using the Weapon X Wolverine action figure, Marvel Legends. This was used in a song called Gigawatt Glitch by Roquez. And this was part of the Epic Toy Sound and Zillion Marketplace mystery boxes. We sent out basically supplies for toy photographers to be able to create a scene, and for them to be able to just take characters that maybe they wouldn't buy on their own, but a good amount of them. Like for instance, we sent Dark Reign, like Darth Malik, or no, maybe a Dark Trooper, Darth Malik, maybe G.I. Joe Commando, Steel, classified. It was classified, but it was like with the armor on there, Cobra Commander with the armor, Patty Pimblett, UFC McFarlane. We sent the Sesame Street Lokis, Marvel Legends. I think one of the new Morbius from the 2-pack from Doctor Strange, the VHS 2-pack. So a lot of goodies that are like new, recent, and maybe you just wouldn't see out at a regular Target or Walmart or whatever. So we send them and try to get people to use their imagination in ways that maybe they just wouldn't by themselves, or maybe they're not inspired to go get the Morbius figure or a Sesame Street Loki's. But what it does is keep things, interesting, because just like life, we're always dealt a set of challenges that we have to overcome, that we have to deal with and find new ways to conquer. So in toy photography, I feel like it's a philosophy. It's an art, just like anything else. It's a form of expression. So we know that when we see these scenes, they mean something, way more than just an image, way more than just photography. It's something that penetrates deep inside, so in the soul. So anyway, the way it works is 5-step, very simple process. You guys are already used to the main nomination process of TPC if you guys have been around. But usually they reach out to 4 or 5 photographers to nominate 4 images each. So this last week, I had the honor to be able to nominate 4 people, 4 images that I saw that were that clicked with me personally. And so I sent that over to Toy Pick community. And now tomorrow on Fridays, TPC Top 10 Fridays, they choose a winner. They nominate however they do it. They have their system. They've been doing it for a while. They're pros. It's the gold standard of toy photography. We know that. For the week. Don't get butt hurt. Don't feel like I'm, this is just, it's weekly. So if people get nominated more than once, that just means they have really good art and people like their stuff. That's okay. Because you'll get nominated more than once too. And especially if when you and when you're active in the community and you are contributing or at least trying, uh, and like I said, if you guys wanna get involved with the Epic Toy Sound part or making cover arts throughout the year and don't want the pressure of being in a competition, that's totally fine. You could reach out to me and, um, I can definitely work with other toy photographers within the community on building a catalog that's safe for them to use of audio and that reflects their art. So, that being said, winner is chosen. Winner gets to choose the style if that's something that he or she wants to do. If not, you could leave it up to us. Totally cool, but we will take the image and basically go off the way it makes us feel, the aesthetic of it, the style. How would you describe it in words? Usually, we get a good idea of kind of how that could translate to sound or sonic, especially being having 20 years in the audio industry and working not only in the music business but in the audio business for whether it was audiobooks, recording authors, making immersive interactive stories with audio. A lot of different things can be done with audio that go unseen a lot and that are easy to just forget and not remember. But so we create it. That's the lab. That's when we're in the studio, make everything happen. We put all the metadata, do everything officially so that we can be copyright free, royalty free. We make sure that everything is properly categorized. Like I said, we keep it in a folder and then we drop it, we release it. So the following week after the TPC chooses the winner is when we will schedule the release for the winner's soundtrack. And when they go live on their show or when they do the following week's nominations um, for the next TPC Top 10 winner, we can showcase the last week's winner and go from there. So it's going to be a fun little routine that we're just going to add on integration with the whole community and kind of make it so that it's more than just a digital piece of art, more than just an image now. That image will translate to a sound and we will, like I said, release that everywhere on all platforms, social media, libraries. I've been doing distribution since 2012, so I've got over a decade in understanding how it works, building a label, and having over 122 artists that are currently on our label that we have to manage the catalog for, which is over tens of thousands of songs. Um, this is something that is and granted, like this is one of our first ideas with the toy community and how we're using our catalog that we've built over this 20-year period. But um, I'm super excited because it's my passion, it's my interest and my hobby. So that's why I'm able to say, all right, well, it's worth it for me to give up my earnings or donate a portion to toy photography to the community and give back in a way. So the drop we schedule it for the following Friday on all major streaming platforms, all social media libraries, and then the audio goes into the community vault, meaning that it is there for us to be able to use royalty free. We will get creative and smart with the song titles and the way that we use to describe the audio so that we can always have a backlog to go to. So if we're looking for certain, cinematic Gotham feel, then, we can type in certain keywords and be able to find what audio we want to use in our content because there's no point in just, I mean, now granted, there's always going to be people that just want to stick to whatever they want to do. It's totally fine. Keep rocking, man. Like, this is just a way to get more engagement, enhance what we already do and make it fun because you can get really creative with some ideas and contests and ways to use audio that are just completely um, uh, multiplied when you add that music and that sound side to a visual that is already breathtaking versus just a breathtaking visual by itself with no sound at all. It doesn't have the same effect, in my opinion. You might think otherwise. That's all right. But anyway, that's the basic process. These 5 steps: nomination, get top 10. Winner is selected. The studio, the lab, we have back and forth about what style, what are we gonna do. The drop is released on the following Friday, and then thrown in the community law vault. So that's that. Your vision, our sound. So this is a true collaboration, meaning that you focus on what you want to do, your visuals, your toy art. We focus on what we want to do, the sound, the audio around that scene. We come together, and both sides are already taken care of. We don't have to really, you know, how sometimes it feels like you have to be there for the whole thing. So this is the beauty of the age that we're in right now, is the fact that we can um, collaborate with each other from across the world. And I'm really excited about this because it is a muse. It is my muse. Okay, this is the anatomy of how we break it down, of how it looks when, you know, something were to go live or go on Spotify after your album art gets on. So obviously, a lot of you know, you probably already have Spotify, if not already have music on there. Um, you see the cover art when you're playing, simple music player. Name of the song right here is going to be something catchy that relates to your scene. And this is another thing that, you know, the winner can be directly involved with. I don't, you know, if you want to leave it up to us, and that is, you know, kind of the a lot of toy photographers just say, just go ahead and do it, because here's the image. They'll send me 3 or 4 a week, and we'll come up with concepts for them, because I'm basically going off of what I see, meaning that I'm not adding things that are not there. It's the original image, and whatever it invokes, and whatever that style is the style that we end up naming it around. So the name of the song will be the scene style itself. It won't be like direct wording like motorcycle Mezco figure. It's not like that, but this individual art that you're looking at right now is actually called Ocean of Abundance. We have a song out with it, and that's just because the money theme, talking about prosperity, this and that. So it's just a cool, chill vibe. Crooked Ninja Turtle did the cover art in this, and um, so the way it looks is like this. For all the TPC top tens each week, we're going to release them um, with the Toy Pick community artist, meaning that that's going to be the brand that builds here. Um, it will say Toy Pick community. It will say the song title based on the image. It will have your cover art right there. And in the song title, it will say featuring, and that's where your name comes in. Whether you want to put your username from Instagram to lead people back to your page, or if you have a blog or a website or brand name, or if you make toys, or if you sell toys, or if you have a business, any of those things are doable. We can um, get creative, custom. If you want to create your own artist, all that, it does cost money. So like if you wanted to make your own artist because you decided you wanted to continue contributing, and you say you want to do one release a week for your own self as a toy photographer, we can create custom artists. But like I said, all this stuff, you know, it's record label management, it's all distribution. um, so there's a lot of moving parts within it. Totally doable. You just have to let me know. So I think we'll find a lot out as we go on and learn from each other. So that, like I said, our artists is the Toy Pick community. The art itself is the scene that was chosen in the top 10. The um, song title is the scene feeling, the aesthetic that it invokes, and the song featuring is your username or your artist name. And we basically break it down like that. And every artist will have a different um, winner, or if the same winner wins, obviously they'll have more than one on Spotify, so then they can start keeping track of a dashboard, and you can grow your own Spotify profile and whatnot. Um, for those that decide that they want to do it more long term than just if they win the weekly, uh, let me know. Like I said, shoot me a message. I'll send you all the information, email with a breakdown of everything of how it works. Okay, so obviously this is going to like I said, it's going to reach other people that we have not reached before, reach other eyes, other ears. Your art becomes a legitimate album cover on Spotify, Apple, Deezer, every single social media platform that contains audio, and they could type in your username and find it. That's really cool. When you type in your name and you can find your audio, it's really useful because you don't even have to think about it sometimes, but you do need enough audio up to cover every single mood. So let's work on that. The community, this just makes sure that every week we add a new piece to the catalog. We add a new royalty-free, safe. You can use it on your own YouTube channels. You can download the pack. We'll call it, Epic Toy Sound Creator Pack 1. You know what I mean? And then we'll maybe every quarter or every month, we'll release a new set of 50 to 100 backtracks, soundscapes, scenescapes, whatever you want to call them, ambience, sound effects, maybe some phrases that that are reoccurring in our community or something like that to make it more engaging and to make it more you know personal and maybe community based for the culture. So elevating toy photography as a whole. It's more than just the community. It's basically taking the art, saying this deserves its own cover art, deserves its own soundtrack. Let's create an entire culture around creating cover art for toy photography scenes, and for turning toy photography scenes into cover art and releasing them with an original toy soundtrack. So it's bigger than all of us. All right, and this is the final and most important part is the fact that we're not using anybody else's audio. We're creating everything from scratch. It's not just for the winner, it's for the entire community, whether it's after or before. We have tons of music already out. But the good thing is that we add these specific for this reason and keep them royalty free, because we always have an option to be able to generate royalties from audio or not, or keep them as like a separate digital pack where, this is a community-based thing. This is a community-based library of audio. So that being said, that is the last slide, I believe. Okay, this is the last one. And this is just a phrase, don't be closed-minded, meaning that a lot of us are. We all have to do things we don't want to do. This shouldn't be one of them. If this is your hobby, this is your interest, then, you can basically turn this into stepping stones and other ways to showcase that interest and that hobby and connect with people who, maybe you want to reach out to, your own band and start doing this. Cool. I'm glad that, we inspired some people. So that's the presentation. Now I'm going to show you guys the video.
Released all over the world. Today, we're diving into a totally game-changing new initiative called the 2026 Protocol. It's a collaboration that's literally turning pixels into permanent playlists. Let's break down exactly how it works.
I mean, we all know this, right? Every great toy photograph, it's not just a picture of plastic. It captures a moment. It hints at some kind of action. It tells a whole narrative, all frozen in one single frame. It's your story told through your lens.
But now, just imagine this for a second. What if that story, that super specific mood and atmosphere you worked so hard to create, what if you could hear it? What if your visual masterpiece had its own custom-made soundtrack? That's the huge idea we're digging into today. So to really get why this is such a massive deal, we've got to talk about a problem that every single digital creator knows way too well: the short, fleeting life of our work once it's online. You know the feeling. You post something you are incredibly proud of, a photo you poured hours, maybe even your heart and soul into. The notifications just start blowing up, it gets shared, maybe it even goes viral. It's an awesome, validating rush of success.
But then what happens next week? Or, even tomorrow? The algorithm just moves on. The feed keeps scrolling, and that masterpiece of yours gets buried under this avalanche of new content. Its moment in the sun is over, almost as fast as it began.
And, there's a whole other side of this problem. If you want to turn your photos into a reel or a video, you smash right into the creator's audio dilemma. You're spending ages hunting for music, you're risking a copyright strike that could absolutely kill your channel, or you just end up using the same generic trending audio that literally everyone else is using. It's just a frustrating cycle. And that brings us to the solution: What if we could solve both the fleeting fame problem and the audio dilemma all at once? Well, that's exactly what this new initiative, born from an incredible partnership between the Toy Pick community and Epic Toy Sound, is designed to do. Okay, so here's the core of it. The 2026 protocol is a brand new system where every single week, the #1 photo from the TPC Top 10 doesn't just get praise, it becomes the actual inspiration for a new custom-produced song. And then that song gets released everywhere, with you, the photographer, getting an official artist credit. To put it simply, this whole thing is about taking the visual art we create and giving it a permanent audible life. It's about turning our pixels into global playlists. Okay, so you're probably sitting there wondering, how does this all actually work? Good question. Let's walk through the whole journey, from the moment you post your photo to the moment it becomes a song that can be heard all around the world. All right, so check out this 5-step pipeline. What's so brilliant about this is how it's a perfect loop. It starts with the community voting, then it moves to a direct collaboration between you, the artist, and the producer in the lab, and it ends with that final track being released right back to the community as safe audio for everybody to use. It's a self-sustaining creation.